Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Unsure of what to raise awareness of. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you tend to get your podcasts from. On today's show, we discuss the public apology statement, cheating at a world championship, and a real-life example of the devil made me do it. I'm Andrew, maestro of the run sheet, next to the guy who, if given the choice, will stand up to pee. It's Dick, full kit wanker, Schisler.
What? You know what I really hate about starting the show?
I think it's the best part of the show.
I have to immediately pee. Like without fail, because I
Can you make it till the break?
I don't know how my body reacts that fast, because I just chug water real quick to clear the mouth, and all of a sudden, 45 seconds later, ooh, I gotta pee.
It's gotta be like the power of suggestion, right?
Oh yeah.
Wow, because it doesn't go through your system that fast.
No, but
so
I've been peeing all day because I've been outside dancing.
So again, you gonna make it?
And I've been drinking water. I've probably had about 6 bottles of water today. I didn't realize
6 what of water?
Bottles of water. What'd I call it?
It sounded like you said balls of water.
Balls. But
you are the full kit wanker, so
well,
I get it.
Well, I didn't realize how hot it was today.
Yeah,
because it's like in the 80s, and there's a cool breeze, and it rained. So I was like, oh, I'll be fine. And then I get there, and I'm dancing, and I'm like, oh wow, it is. I'm sweating my butt off.
Dancing. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the patrons at the place were in like full costume and didn't take the masks off while dancing. And I go, these guys are hardcore.
You remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about Halloween outfits and what you were going to wear in your Caitlin Clark outfit or whatever.
I like it.
You said the main thing that dictates what you're going to wear is the weather, and I said just predict it's going to be hot. And guess what? It is.
I'm wearing my costume.
Looks like you are
I'm Roy Hobbs from The Natural. And what's funny is I have to wear this button that says, this is my costume. Because people don't think it's my costume.
Because they really think that you're a baseball player is what it is.
Well, that's what I love is...
You're pulling it off well.
Well, it's the Knights. That's the team he played for. And there's not a real team called the Knights. And that's why I love it. People are like, oh, what baseball team is that? I'm like, you clearly don't watch baseball.
Knights.
It's the Knights.
So do you have like the stirrup pants and cleats to go with it? So this is a half kit wanker. You're a half kit wanker.
Oh yeah, I'm not going full kit. Halloween is one of those interesting holidays. If you go with a girl, you put more effort into it, and you're not allowed to put more effort than her. I found out when you go out, like if you come up with like $1,000 costume, and she'll be like, no.
Yeah, the goal for a male in any relationship is to make the female look good.
Yes. And that's why I like having this jersey. I don't know where I bought this jersey, but I love it because it's like, oh, if I don't have a costume, I can just put this on. And then
the button. Got to have the button.
Yeah, the button is a must. And then what I love about it is you meet people who know what it is, and we become instant friends. Because it's like, oh, you're Roy Hobbs. You're Robert Redford from The Natural.
Instant friends, huh?
Because The Natural is probably one of the top baseball movies.
It's out there.
If you ask baseball fans,
for sure,
they'll do like Field of Dreams, The Natural.
Yeah.
So.
And then League of Their Own.
League of Their Own.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's a good baseball.
No, it wasn't bad. It was not bad. You know, if you're into chicks playing baseball.
But let me tell you, so I before we recorded here, I volunteered at this place called New Danville. If you're living around the area, support them. It's a really interesting community.
What kind of organization is it, Dick?
So it's an organization that I would call it a community, and the community houses adult special needs people.
Okay, these are people who are mentally impaired or mentally
special needs.
Special needs, okay.
And they're adults. So I think really what their overall goal is to assimilate special needs people who are adults to live on their own. And so when you get there, they have their own apartment, they take care of themselves, and there's different spectrums, and they either have it's really interesting to see that organization actually take a logical viewpoint of how to help special needs people. Because a lot of people forget they might have like an uncle or cousin that lives with their mom for their entire lives because they're special needs. But then some of these people don't have any parents.
Right.
So where do they go? And they somewhat need assistance.
So did they accept your application?
Well, that was I was telling you that was one of the funniest things. So today was their Halloween bash, and it was outside, and they have like a cover. What do you call it? Like a giant what is it? Like
Portico?
Yeah, it's giant.
Tent?
They had it's almost like a basketball court size.
Okay.
And I didn't realize, and I was dancing. We had the DJ, you do the Monster Mash, and I'm having a good time. And what I realized is they're so dedicated to these costumes, and they asked me to be the judge of the costumes, and I had to give second place to this woman who was the Grinch, and she was wearing a full Santa Grinch outfit, like the wool all the way to the feet.
A full kit Grinch.
A full kit Grinch, and she didn't take the mask off the entire time. And I'm like, this woman
stayed in character, man.
This woman is sweating. And what was great was we gave gift cards out to the winners, and right when I handed her the Whataburger gift card, I kid you not, right when she took it, she's like, finally, and like just takes off the mask and just has like just water. And I was like, that's dedication.
I think
right
the one
there.
thing the onesies want to know: did you drag something out of there?
What? Like a lady?
Yeah.
Well, there was. So here's another side story.
I'm kidding. You're there to volunteer. You would
No,
never do such a thing.
I'm always on the prowl. No, I'm just kidding. Well, no. Another side story is when we checked in, they gave us volunteer badges and had our names on it, and I had to take mine off after about
why.
35 minutes because everyone was asking me if I was named after a wiener, and they were all laugh at me. And I go, and one guy even got like, "Hey, that's a bad word. You're a bad word." And I go, "Man, why can't I just be Dick?" And then it's like, no, not in that crowd. Can't be Dick in that crowd because I'm named after a wiener. And my favorite was...
It's a little too nuanced for them, I suppose, to handle, right?
Oh, my favorite was this guy leans in. He's like, hey, I can't say your name, but like, are you named after that naughty word? And I go, what? And he's like, a wiener. Like, are you really named after like a private part? And I started cracking up.
That's when you deadpan and go, yes.
Yeah, I actually said yeah. I was like, yeah, I mean, it happens. I'm named after my dad, who's also a wiener. But it was very enjoyable. But anyway, it's so hot. And I'm like, I'm dying. I'm drinking water. Now I got to piss. So there's my opening.
Well, we'll make
Halloween.
it to the break of 30 minutes.
Because I know Halloween's your favorite. You ready? Your house looks great.
Thank you for noticing.
I wanted to send you a video of another house that in your area. And it's so much better than yours because
it's okay, man. I'm not doing it for the competition. I do it for the love of the game.
It has pyrotechnics.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So
that's next level.
You know the HOA is like, it's cool, but
yeah, that's a bit much. I don't have any.
Yours is actually really cool. Do you have music playing? I was
always
curious about that.
We talked about incorporating some music.
I think you should just the night, not during the holiday, but like Halloween
but
night.
Instead, I decided to pay the neighborhood kids just to come over and go,
oh, I got a perfect
all night. And that's good enough.
Perfect idea for you.
Okay. And now perfect ideas with Dick.
So we have the podcast here. We have the equipment.
Yes.
And when you come up with your concept, like currently your concept is you have a skeleton bartender, pirate.
Yeah, that's part of it.
So I could record me being a pirate and talking about coming to get your booze or whatever.
There you go. Just put it on repeat.
Like, hey, what's a scrub on a ship? What do they call them? Like
shiver me timbers.
What's like the smallest level? What do they call them?
The first mate?
No, like the bottom of that order.
I don't know, man.
It's like scrub or
yeah, sure.
Scallop. No, it's not scallop.
Scallywags.
Something like that. Like, hey, scallywags, come get your beer. What do they call them?
Was it Kroll? Maybe it's Kroll.
Yeah, I like it. So you could do that. And
first of all, you need to get your speech down before you record anything. You can't keep going, what's it called?
That
doesn't work.
That would be great.
Bring me your... What's it called again, guys?
But I know I love it when people go hardcore into Halloween. I always appreciate that, especially those people at New Danville. First place was Beetlejuice, and he looked like he was hot too. And and third, I'll show you a picture. Third place was Michael Jackson. He had the full leather Thriller outfit on.
Yes, I'm curious to see.
And I'm sitting there, and we're walking around, and then Thriller's on, and everyone parts. I'm like, why is everyone partying? And he was, I kid you not, in the pose, ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
No shame in their game whatsoever. Well, staying on this kind of theme of impairment, I did see a guy at the airport being offered a wheelchair. He was kind of standing next to me, and one of the airport attendants came over and offered him a wheelchair. Now, if you're using a wheelchair, you probably have some sort of mobility impairment, and you're taking care of yourself, right? You're using that wheelchair to get around. No big deal. But if you're just standing there and someone comes up to you unsolicited and offers you a wheelchair, I feel like something's gone wrong, right? Like you're giving off the vibe that you need assistance. And if you're that guy, and this guy was, someone who said, no, I'm good, don't you get a little self-reflective and go, what about me looks like I need a wheelchair? He was just standing there. Now, he wasn't particularly old, and I didn't see him moving around, so maybe this airport attendant had seen him earlier and he was walking with a limp, but he just appeared to be kind of disheveled. And the guy said, hey, man, you need a wheelchair? And he's like, no, bro, I'm good.
Yeah, that's one of those, that would have been me.
Yeah, I know. Because think about it. We're out one night, and I'm like, hey, man, Dick, you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. You need a wheelchair? Things aren't going well.
Yeah, I would be like, yeah, do you mind pushing me around?
It's kind of an odd thing. Another observation in the airport, I saw a couple, and they were wearing matching T-shirts. One of them said, I love my wife, and the other one said, I love my husband. And immediately, I tried to determine which one of them was the cheater. Because there ain't no way that anyone in a normal, healthy relationship is going to be wearing a shirt that says, I love my wife and or husband out in public. So somebody done cheated on somebody in that one, I have to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
What would you do in this situation? More airport observations. I was parking my car, and I got out to take a picture of the number of where my parking, my car was at, what floor, what aisle, and everything else. And I look over, and I see a car door to a Tesla that is wide open. About as wide as a car door can get open while it's still in a parking space. I thought, well, that's kind of weird. So I get a little closer. There's nobody in the car. And that door is just standing wide open. And I thought about going over there and closing it.
Yeah.
But I know Teslas have all kinds of cameras.
Yeah, just close it.
So I just left it open. What would you have done? Would you have walked over there and closed it?
Oh, yeah.
Because my thought is, if someone had broken into it and they left the door open, then I go over there trying to close it. Now my prints are all over the car.
Yeah, but you can there's cameras everywhere in that parking garage. You could easily just...
I guess.
So like,
I
was just trying to be a good Samaritan.
Right, and I part of, like, if that were my car, I would want someone to close the door. But I just walked off and said, somebody else will do it.
Yeah.
So you're closing it, huh?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I did that the other day. I went to lunch, and someone left their trunk open, and I realized it was probably that person with the walker because they had to get the walker out. So I went to the restaurant, and I was like, hey, that's your car, right? Yeah. You're what I love is I go, hey, you left your trunk open. And they're already situated eating and like getting ready to eat.
But you knew the person. You saw the person. In this case, there was no one around.
No, I was leaving, and I saw someone with a walker being escorted to their table. And when I walked through the parking lot, I saw the car. And I was like, I bet you anything that's that person.
Gotcha.
But what I love is they are already sitting down, and people with walkers are kind of hard to manage. And I was like, do you want me to go close it? And like, no, I'll get it. Oh, and then I was like, do I just leave? What do I do? And so I just left. And I was like, hey, there's your car. But
good for you. You are a good Samaritan.
I made that person get up and
volunteering
go close it.
And dancing with special needs.
Well, I have a heart of gold.
Informing the public.
You never know how good of a soul I am until you talk to me.
I suppose.
Even though I curse all the time in front of children. I did that yesterday, and I didn't feel bad about it.
You pick your battles, right?
Yeah. They're like, hey, we have a kid here. I'm like, don't bring your kid.
All right, Dick, let's go ahead and kick off the show. Did you hear about a New Zealand airport that is limiting its goodbye hugs to 3 minutes? Now, this is kind of weird on multiple fronts, but first of all, you ever hugged anybody for 3 minutes?
Just to get a good whiff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you hair sniffer. I mean, think about it. A 15-second hug
I don't know
is a long time. Who's hugging for 3 minutes? But you know what this is. Like when people drop people off at the airport, they have to embrace. And if there's kids, they got to do it two or three times.
Did they get the attendant a whistle?
Right? Right, exactly.
1 minute warning. Well, I mean, that's what I love about the Houston airport here at, I don't know which one you fly out all the time.
IH.
Yeah, like the people there don't follow any of the rules.
They don't care, man. It's the Wild West.
Especially
with all
when
the
picking
construction.
up. When you're picking up, I remember like I waited for I timed it. I did what you normally are supposed to do. When you go to the website, they tell you don't come in line until.
Excuse me.
Don't come in line until the person you're picking up is already outside.
Right. Yeah, you can't park there.
Yeah, and
they will give you a ticket.
What was great was out of the 9 cars in the line, and I'm in dead center of them, I'm the only one that picked up the dude.
And then you got to wait.
And then we waited, I'm not kidding you, for like 5 minutes. And I kind of rolled in the window. I was like, hey, so we just don't have any rules? it's one of those days we don't follow rules.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the guy in the truck is yelling at everybody. He's like, I'm waiting on my friend. Yeah, like I'm staying here. And of course, the
He's got a
attendant.
problem.
Oh yeah, the attendant was just like, all right, man. Hey, you're good. And
I
then
bet you he's got "I Love My Wife" T-shirt on too.
I think he actually had truck balls. So
Truck nuts.
yeah, but airports.
Well, there's a sign in the story that says max hug time 3 minutes, and it says for fonder farewells, please use the car park. So in other words, if you want to hug for a little bit longer than that, go get it on in the parking garage.
Knowing me, if I was with my significant other and I saw that sign, I'd look at one of the attendants and I'd be like, start the watch.
Yeah.
And then I'd just be making out the whole time. I'm like, this is...
It says it's hard to say goodbye, so make it quick. 3 minutes max, says one of the series of signs at the Dunedin Airport on the country's South Island of New Zealand. That is really funny, and of course, as I said, those seeking fonder farewells should go get it on in the parking garage.
And then what I would do is take a picture of that sign, make a duplicate sign. It says, "Please don't get naked." I put it right next to it. 3 minute.
And
hugging.
if you do, go to the car park.
Yeah, I go to the car park. What's happening in New Zealand, man?
Right. Again, I don't know. 3 minutes sounds like a long time to be hugging somebody. Anyways, Dick, this is a story that you made me aware of, but a Wisconsin pizzeria has apologized after customers were urged to throw out pizzas purchased from them due to contamination with THC, the psychoactive substance in cannabis.
All right, so the reason I really like this article is there's a movie with Christian Haydenson, who's Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
In the movies, and it's a terrible movie called like Little Italy, I think. And
is he running drugs out of the pizza place?
Well, no, he comes home to help it's a typical movie where it takes place in somewhere in Canada, but it's Little Italy. It makes no sense. And they're two competing pizzeria people, right? The pizza and their families used to be friends, but now they hate each other. And one of the pranks was they put marijuana in the pizza. And I'm thinking, and like all these people are buying the pizza and they're getting high. I'm like, this would never happen.
Well,
this
it
would
did.
Never. I don't know. Did you read the article at all?
I did, and
it's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. But what I think is interesting about this is it says the pizza was thought to have been served between Monday, October 21st, and Thursday, October 24th, meaning people were getting high for days and no one was complaining.
And if
people got the pizza on the 21st, had no issues with this.
This is where it gets great. And onesies are probably thinking like, oh, like did some kid play a prank? No, what happened was they had THC oil, and I guess one of the employees put it in
and grabbed it by mistake and was just making that.
And just like so, pizzas like
dough.
All these pizzas were being made, not just one.
But it went on for 3 days.
I know.
It's not like it was one afternoon where somebody came back in 30 minutes later and said, "Bro."
Yeah. One guy went to the hospital because he never done drugs before, and he's freaking out. And what's funny about it is, like, who do you blame? Until someone says, yeah, it's my oil.
Yeah, I don't know. If it is an honest mistake, I mean, I guess it might be legal up there in Wisconsin. I don't know why you got weed oil.
But
I love this, though. Quote from the restaurant. If you ate the pizza and are experiencing THC-related symptoms, you mean getting high? Please contact your healthcare provider or call 911 if symptoms worsen. But there are people who bought that pizza on the 21st and said, we're going back. Oh, how many repeat customers were there between the 21st and 24th?
The people I feel sorry for are like the straight arrow folks who get drug tested, and now it's like, what do you do? No one's gonna believe you. And he's like a lineman or something, or like a cop. It's like, oh, you're getting your random test, and he's like, you have THC. It's like, is that what that was on Thursday? Like, I just went to sleep.
I thought this place had a.
But yeah, I was like, when I watched that movie, I was like, that would never happen.
The place was called Famous Yeti's Pizza in Stoughton, Wisconsin.
But you should watch Little Italy because it is terrible. It's a terrible, terrible.
You
movie.
And your terrible movie recommendations.
Oh, I didn't send you.
I shall pass on
I didn't send you the recent one I found that comes out in December. It's called Invisible Raptor.
Invisible Raptor?
Yeah, and it's a legit movie. I'll send you the trailer. The whole trailer, I was like, what genius set this up? Because the special effects team's like, oh, we really don't have to like make a raptor. It can be invisible.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's a movie about an invisible raptor killing
raptor?
a town.
Like,
a raptor.
Like
an
animal.
Like a dinosaur.
Not like the Ford F-150.
Raptor,
okay?
So, but it's invisible. Like, what genius in movie making? It's like, hey, we can't really afford the visual effects team to make like an actual raptor killing everybody. Let's make it invisible.
What a cheap ass way to get out of doing special effects in a movie.
Great. It's great. Highly recommend. I haven't seen it yet.
It's kind of akin to when there's a murder scene in a movie. You see somebody start to do something, and then they turn around and you just see the blood splatter on their face. It's like, because it's easy.
It's like Psycho.
You just kind of flick blood on someone's face. Yeah, I love that.
Good.
Dick, would you say that you have a pretty good gaydar? Do you know what I mean when I say gaydar?
No,
the ability
not at all.
to tell if someone is of the homosexual persuasion.
So my ex and a lot of other people always thought I was gay because I give off that vibe, I guess. Did you ever think that? A lot of people think I'm gay.
Not today.
After a while, like they're like, "Oh, this guy's got to be gay."
There's simply no other explanation.
Yeah.
So you're saying people think you might be gay.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't tell when someone else is.
No. Well, I mean, they make it extremely obvious, like when they tell them they're gay.
Like they're wearing a boa, like a feathered boa or something.
Yeah,
what do you mean? Making it very
like
making
they
a
have
pass
that. They
at
have
you?
that stereotype when they're like, "Oh my god," and like.
Okay.
Because
I'm trying to get you to step in it. Go ahead.
Well, one of my good friends came out when he was like 16, and it had the family trouble, so I helped him, with like moving and hanging out with him. And I made a joke to him. It actually made him laugh. I felt good about it because I was like, I can't believe your parents never knew you were gay because you act like a gay person all the time. And I just said it as a joke because I was like, I don't really know what gay people.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's like, he goes, "Do I?" I'm like, "I don't know, man." But it was one of my favorite jokes because he was crying, because his parents hate him. And then,
how sad, man. Well, Stanford University's AI, I guess they have their own artificial intelligence software, can tell if you're gay or straight from a photo, or at least it claims. Now, this
is the world.
Pretty interesting.
This is the science I don't care about because it's like, who cares?
You don't care about this? The fact that AI is claiming that you have, in other words, there is a gay, quote unquote, look.
Like, I don't
That's
want
what they're
people
claiming.
telling me how to feel. I want to feel myself.
You want to feel yourself, do
like
you?
if I had to go to the airport and it's like, me, gay, and I'm like, no.
Well, I don't think they're going to implement this at the airport.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty interesting.
Like the COVID heat thing. That's why we need to get a gun. It says like gay.
It says the algorithm can accurately guess if a person is straight or gay based on a photo of their face.
That's hilarious.
This was achieved using a sample of over 35,000 images that have been publicly posted on the U.S. dating sites. And then with an even representation of gay and straight people, they were able to make determinations.
So even, I forgot to tell you, the AI thing, get it. Because I used to get gay dating apps on my feeds.
Just randomly,
like
by chance.
Right when I got divorced.
It's not about cookies or anything.
Because I was getting bombarded with that stuff. I was getting therapy. I was getting dating apps, and then I get gay dating apps. And I'm like, huh. Like, what's the AI telling me these days?
Which one did you go with?
I didn't go with therapy.
It says gay men tend to have, quote, gender atypical features, expressions, and grooming styles, meaning they appeared more feminine. They also had narrower jaws, longer noses, and larger foreheads than straight men. The opposite was true for gay women, who generally had larger jaws and smaller foreheads. Look, don't be mad at AOO here, or me, guys. I'm just reading from the techspot.com and AI. If you're going to be mad at anybody, be mad at Stanford's
That's so funny
AI software. Yeah, so it said the system was eventually able to distinguish between gay and straight men 81% of the time and 74% of the time for women. I ain't gay. I just got a big jawline, man. What are you talking about? Just by reviewing a photo. This is pretty interesting, man. So for someone such as yourself who admitted that your gaydar is not very strong, perhaps this is an AI that you might be interested in.
I think it's also something I don't really care about people's orientation.
You do when you're trying to date them, I would think.
Yeah,
and if you can't tell,
I've been hit on by dudes before because again, I give off that vibe, and I'm like, no, sorry, dog. It's probably happened about 10 times in my life, but I don't really. When I talk to people, I'm like, I wonder if they're gay.
Well, it says by contrast, a human was only able to identify sexual orientation 61% of the time for men and 54% of the time for women. So. This thing is,
you know what this sounds like?
Pretty darn accurate. Yes.
It sounds like, remember that article we did a while back where it was like the facial recognition and it was targeting black African-American men?
Oh, what was that? Yeah, it was really
bad.
Extremely racist.
Yeah, because it was something like
I don't remember now.
Police-centered. And
Oh, no, I think it was facial recognition to tell if you were going to commit a crime. And it was busting people that were predominantly
black men
of white color,
Yeah.
which, oh my God, how terrible is
Well,
this?
not even that. I think on top of that, they were that article talked also about like if someone like, for example, robbed a convenience store, and it happened to be an African American middle-aged male. They use software to recognize the face, and they like are arresting the wrong people because it's
absolutely.
yeah.
For sure.
So
AI.
I love it.
But it's pretty good at finding out if you like dudes or not.
Well, that's scary.
Is it? Are you a little nervous now?
Well, I mean, because it's kind of like what do you call it when you're making a baby and you can be like,
It's called sex.
well, no, well, farm to table. No, I'm talking about like you can like designer.
You just literally said, what's it called when you're making a baby?
No, I know where you're going with. I'm talking about where you get to choose
Designer
the DNA,
babies.
the designer
Okay, sure,
babies. And that's what's kind of scary to me because it's like, is that going to be something they figure out? And then like everyone always has those, what do you call it, like moments in their life where you don't know what you are. You know, it's like, you know what I'm talking about? You ever had that when you're like 12 and you're like, I can't play basketball because I suck. What do I do?
I mean, I realized I wasn't going to be, 6'6", but
yeah. Well, you think that every day. So that's you. It's true. But now I want to go. I'm curious to see. They go to this device, and it's like I need to know if I'm gay or not. I need someone else to tell me. Oh,
yeah, put my face in. I'm undecided. Let AI decide for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's scary to me.
Well, the computer said I was, so.
Oh no, what would be great?
Bring it on.
It's like it prints it out, and it's like me print, and it's like you are gay or trans, and you're like, oh great.
Now what do I do?
What do I do now?
Dick, are you familiar with the traditional game in Great Britain known as Conkers? Not Conkers. There's a game. It's a traditional children's game in Great Britain called Conkers. And if you look in the run sheet, I have a video there that shows a picture from the Conkers World Championship. But basically, this is a game used, a game played using seeds of horsenut chest trees. And they have like a string tied to the end of them, and they smack them against somebody else's conker to see which one breaks. The one who breaks is obviously the loser. The one that doesn't break,
I pulled it up for our
is
onesies.
the winner.
So they're wearing costumes. I love it.
Now, the World Championships is off the chain because these people come together and they dress up.
What is this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, this is like an ongoing segment that we've had. We're like crazy Ocho channel.
This is definitely an Ocho sport. Yes, an edge sport to say the least.
Yes.
I had never heard of it, Bell. This year, a man was accused of using a conker made of steel to win the world championship. Uh-oh.
I gotta watch this. I want to understand.
Yeah. Like I said, they put this little chestnut at the end of a string and then smack it against the other one to see who breaks. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like pencil fighting. When you were in elementary school.
And whoever breaks first loses.
Yeah, is the loser, right. What says David Jenkins, 82, won the men's competition at the World Conker Championships in Southwick, Northamptonshire on the 13th of October. However, his victory was plunged into controversy, and he was surprised to find himself at the center of national headlines because he had a steel conker in his jacket, and he claims that he has had since 1977. He uses it as a good luck charm. The video shows him, however, reaching into his jacket and pulling something out right before the final match. But he claims that he was
Do we have a video
cheating.
of it?
No, I didn't see a video of him, but he has been declared and cleared of all charges. So Mr. David Jenkins has been rightfully claimed the champion of 2024. This does look like a game you would drink a ton of beer and go play.
Oh, okay.
Are you showing this video to the onesies, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
So I want to remind the onesies, email us any crazy sports you find. Because I'm fascinated around the world of ridiculous sports.
Like this.
And I want to, this brings me up, so I'll pull up a video for you. Give me a second. So YouTube's great when you start searching stuff. I've been watching a lot of the slap fighting championship thingies. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's wonderful. We talked about it before.
Yeah.
Then on my YouTube feed, I found this. So this is called Calcio Storsio. It is in Italy. It's in a town, and it's old school where the four sections of the neighborhood come together and play this sport. It's a combination, and I'm going to pull it up for the video. It's a combination of rugby, MMA.
Oh,
and
careful there. He just flipped off the camera.
Oh, well,
That's not very AOO or onesie friendly.
But let's see. So, and then the whole purpose is to take this beach ball looking thing into the other side. But it's full tackle. It's 27 man on 27 man brawl. So right when they start, they are like going fists, and they're doing MMA.
Oh my god!
Oh, dude, it is nuts.
So it's basically a fight that's guised as a game. These guys are literally punching each other, bare-fisted. Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, so what it comes down to is the front line. The whole idea is you're supposed to pin the people down, as many people down. That way the runner can run through. You can fist fight if you want, but you know how tired you get really fast?
Yeah.
So there's like strategy, and then like you'll see it's 27 people versus 27 people. Like it's gonna be, it's just chaos.
Brawl. It's complete,
and it's awesome because it's right in front of this church, like this famous church in Italy.
Right as you said that, they showed the church,
and I'm sitting there going like, I would love to grow up in this neighborhood, and then like once a year, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever, and and it really is a neighborhood game. But as I show you the video, they're fighting and they're jumping, and they have rules like you can't come from behind. If you hit from behind, you're out.
Sounds
and
terrible.
You don't really want to get kicked out because it's literally 27 people versus 27 people.
Sure.
So
you're not helping your team if you get kicked out. It does say in the Conkers, getting back to that Kelly Banish Bash 34 was the overall winner because after the men's winner's crowned and the women's winner's crowned, the two Conker fight each other, and she ended up beating him to win the title of Queen Conker.
Now, I'm curious with the Conkers, you get a new one after every round. Did you say that?
I don't know about that, actually.
Because you're hitting your Conker on their Conker.
On their Conker, yeah. You're bumping Conkers.
Yeah,
constantly.
So you got to have a weak Conker at like the end of the tournament.
You would think so. You probably get a new one after every round, I'm guessing. I don't know. What's a pretty good time to take a break? When we come back, we're going to talk about a cheese heist of the highest kind.
I was literally about to ask if I could just go in this bottle.
You can do whatever you want after the break. We'll be right back, guys.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gull Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas Ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Baby. It is November 1st.
The Day of the Dead.
Yeah, dog.
The Day of the
got
Dead.
Sorry.
I love the Day of the Dead, man.
I think that's a cooler holiday than actual Halloween.
I love the decor. I love the get-ups, all the black and the white, most of it with the pops of color, but the skeletons.
Well,
I love all of
that.
But
welcome
stuff.
back. Second part of today's episode. Do want to remind everybody that we broadcast on Lone Star Community Radio's network. They're a nonprofit radio station, so you can always donate and sponsor the show.
106.1 FM here locally, and 104.5 out on the
worldwide at irlonestar.com. And you can check out our show website at irlonestar.com/AAA. And then you can always email us cool articles, funny things, and stuff like that at audienceofOneShow@gmail.com. Or you can go to Facebook. You're active on the Facebook. I am not because I manage like 27 Facebook pages.
That's right. I got it, bud. I got it taken care of.
Yeah.
I got to supply the onesies with some content in between episodes, you know? We're only once a week, and I understand how
every Friday,
difficult that can be,
10 a.m.
waiting an entire week for this banger of a show.
Yeah, especially when you're traveling so much. And
God.
what I was thinking the other day? You travel so much. I wanted you to start collecting stuff for me.
Okay.
And I was trying to come up with something like...
Don't say like locks of hair from people. That'd be really weird, man, because I'm not going to play your sick game.
No.
Okay, good.
Because you know how some people like collect dirt? You know, it's like dirt from the beaches or whatever. Different.
Sure,
And then like they collect,
put it in
like
zippy
pins
bags. Mm-hmm.
And everything. So what I want you to do is I want you to collect blood.
Okay, that's
from a native
kind
person.
of on the same lines as hair.
So you're going to have to meet someone that's been there generationally. Not just like, oh, I moved here. They don't count. You don't want their blood. I don't want it. I want to get someone that's like 4 generations. And I'm setting up my own 23andMe. And now I'm just
Dick, you're going to have to get your own blood, buddy. Sorry.
I'm trying to think what would be a cool thing, though, that every city has, and it's unique enough where you can tell it's from that city.
Magnets, bro. Magnets.
I guess, you know what would be cool? I guess beer.
Yeah, but you can't really collect beer.
Well, I mean, I could put it on
maybe at the can.
The
maybe.
can,
An empty
like, get a
can.
cool
yeah.
can.
I thought you meant the actual liquid.
No, and be like, oh,
That
it's
doesn't
from-
last
I guess you could
around you.
do that. I don't really know. Or you could be even crazier. Always go to every Joe's Italian restaurant because there's probably millions of Joe's. I have a friend who's convinced they're all related.
Okay. Like the Patels owning the hotels?
Yes, like
Okay.
he thinks every Joe's
I do think
Italian
they are
restaurant
Uh-huh.
in Texas is owned by the same person.
What is his source?
He says it all tastes the same,
Okay.
which is funny to me because we have a Joe's here.
Yes, we do.
And it doesn't taste like all the others. Like the Abilene, there's 2 Joe's, and it's the same family. I know
You
that.
talking about the one right here downtown?
Yeah,
Or you talking about
I'm
the
not-
one out on 105?
I'm talking about the one right here in Fraser Street.
Because there's one on 105 too.
Yeah.
It's like Subs. It's fantastic too.
Oh yeah, that's Tony
Oh,
Delicatessen.
Tony. Sorry.
Yeah,
Not
that place
Joe's.
is
Tony's.
baller.
It is really baller.
But the Joe's here, I'm like, that's not that. He's like, no, that's the same one out in Navasota. That's the same one out in like Wallen.
conspiracy, man.
And I'm sitting there going like, you don't believe that, really? There's no way. It's just like, he's like, you think they're allowed to call their shop Joe's? I'm like, I think you can kind of call your restaurant anything besides like globally known. I think Joe's is just a name.
I'm going to call my restaurant Tesla.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You know, we were talking about social media a minute ago and how I'm the maestro of the Facebook page. I saw some folks arguing online. I love looking at people who go back and forth, like on I
yeah.
Love Conroe or something. And I know you've seen this before, where they're arguing back and forth, and one of them finally just tags someone else, and that's it. It's kind of like they need reinforcement. Like, can you believe this guy?
Let's
Hey,
get on it.
Jim. You tag, and if you're Jim that just got tagged, you're probably like, wait, don't drag me into this. I had nothing to do with your crazy internet argument. But it does seem like all of a sudden you're about to lose this argument. So you're like, I need to find somebody who can help me win this argument. Jim, why don't you tell him how bad Kamala sucks?
Yeah. I used to tag my friend saying he believes in adult abortions, and I tag him.
Adult,
Adult
otherwise known as murder.
murder. That was my ongoing joke. And then, but yeah, that was kind of like randomly when someone would be posting something political. I'm like, oh, you know what's funny about that?
Tag.
Oh, you know what's funny about that? My friend tag believes in adult abortions too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah. He asked me politely to stop, and I didn't. So
I have a question for you. I know at one time you were married. No longer now. I know it's a sad story, and I hate to bring it up, but
well, sometimes I wake up.
typically in a cold sweat crying.
Yeah.
No, typically when you're a married person, your emergency contact is your significant other.
Actually, ironically, that happened to me.
Now that you are a single guy, I'm curious to know who
My brother.
your brother is.
Yeah,
because I find this pretty interesting. If
And
you're
I'm
not,
actually his.
If you're not married and you're not like 18 or early 20s, selecting your emergency contact is essentially just who do you want to inconvenience the most,
No,
right?
actually,
I mean,
the way I looked at it,
I don't wanna be
'cause-
bothered.
No, I talked to my brother about this because we agreed probably when you get that phone call, that person's dead. Because like that's really what
that's kind of an emergency. Actually, is that really an emergency at that point?
But that's
I mean,
who
what's
they-
been done
but
has
that-
been done.
But that's who they contact.
I regret to inform you.
And we agree that we're better to receive that information than like our parents or their wives or whatever. So it's like I'd rather hear that you're dead, and that way I can like tell everybody.
But you're going to worst case scenario.
Well,
I'm just thinking like if you
that's
just got
what-
into an accident and
Yeah.
you need to receive a blood transfusion,
Yeah.
and he's going to answer for you on
Yeah.
your behalf because you're incapacitated.
Yeah. But
Okay.
more likely than
Inconveniencing
not, he's
him.
dead. So I have
Okay.
to tell. We both agree that that's what we're going to do for our family. Like I'm going to tell everyone else you're dead, and that's all it's going to be.
I want to do that. Please, 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 please let me be your emergency contact.
No, and I even told him I'm
sicko.
going to do that e-invite. I'm going to design an e-invite. They have to open up the digital letter, and he's
Okay.
like, he dead.
It's going to have like hoops and yo-yo singing.
He's dead, guys. I just chose this template because I got to get the information out.
There's a market that
Sorry,
has yet
there's-
to be cornered. Singing death announcement cards.
Yeah. That's what we should do if I die. Send it to my ex-wife. Oh. I would love to get that. Ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is dead. Oh, I would love to get that telegram. I love it.
Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
See, we bring it all full circle here on the Audience of One show.
Yeah.
Dick, have you ever seen like a bird flying around in a grocery store like the mall before, and you're wondering how the hell did that bird get in here? And he's swooping down. He'll fly, off to the corner and land. And come back down and swoop
I think
around.
the strangest thing I've ever seen. Now
I'm not asking the strangers. I said, have you seen the bird?
I was gonna say I saw like a gerbil.
Continue.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't a rat. It was like a hamster.
Your name is Richard.
But it wasn't like an actual rat. It was like a deer, like clearly like a pet gerbil or something. And the only thing I could guess is, you know how some schools they like give a kid like take home the hamster.
I guess.
And then and that kid's like attached to it. So the mom's like, hey, we have to go in here and pick up, food or whatever. And the kid just didn't want to let go of it. And then there's like a little guinea pig thing. And I'm like, that doesn't look like
in the grocery store.
Yeah, in the grocery store. It was just hanging out. And I remember looking at it and I go, that's not a rat. Because usually rats are like trying to hide.
Yeah, they don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, but this thing was just hanging out in the aisle underneath I was like,
next to the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
And then you saw the video of me with the possum.
I did. Yes, you grabbed that possum by the scruff. Ugh, nasty.
He didn't have a lot of it.
No, that's gross.
And I like that. I wish I had sound that was good. Like,
well, I saw one of those birds flying around in a grocery store the other day, and it got me thinking, like, do you think the bird is happy with the choice he made? Like, I like being in here. This is great. Or do you think he's
it's kind of like,
I want to see the sun again. I got to get out of here.
It's kind of like the bugs that get in your car.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good for a little bit. They're
like,
wow, look at this, man. This is great. And they're in there for a couple of days, but then after a while, you start going, I don't think I can get out.
Yeah.
Just made me wonder.
Yeah. The bird thing is funny to me because...
Bro, I just want to see, I want to touch grass, man.
Especially if there's like a crow in a Walmart. It's like, "Meow, meow." You can hear it, echoes and everything.
I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
But the guinea pig, what's the difference? A guinea pig or hamster? Which one's the bigger one? I think guinea pig are bigger.
the guinea pig, the guinea pig is bigger.
Because this thing was
big. It's like twice the size of a hamster. Yeah,
I mean, it was like a fur
and it kind of had that flat kind of forehead-looking thing.
It was a fur ball. Like, you can obviously see it in the eye. Like, what is that? And
Did you eat it?
No, I didn't do anything. I just kind of like, oh, cool. And then I didn't tell anybody. I was like, I guess that's just going to be there.
Dick, have you ever had to...
okay, I wanted to tell you this. So you saw the video of me doing the possum?
Grabbing the possum, yes. It was hanging on like a, I don't know,
yeah, we were
a
in a
fence
chicken
post.
coop. We were in a chicken coop.
And it was just hanging out on the side.
And it got into the chicken coop, and then it got through the actual like hangout area for the chickens, and it climbed the post. Well, I grab it, and I'm walking, and I'm like, I wanted to kill it, but everyone else is like, no, don't kill it. They're, they eat, they do.
Oh,
whatever.
They bring up that lame excuse if it eats mosquitoes.
Well, originally my idea was when we got the phone call to come get it, I go, can we take the bow and arrow? Because my buddy he hunts with bows, and I was like, that's gonna be so much fun. Can we shoot this
Avatar
thing?
style?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, of course not. And then I was like, dang it. And then of course he makes me get it, and I'm like, all right, I'll get it. But it was funny, and they're like, what do you want me to do with this? I'm holding this possum. It's like just
hissing at you.
Oh yeah, it's great. And then I'm like, what do you want me to do? He's like, oh, just go down here and throw it over by the dam. And then, and I'm like walking, I'm holding it. And I go, what's like the best way to throw this as high as possible? And so I did like a...
Yeah, 1, 2, on 3, buddy. Here we go.
I did a swirl.
Like a discus?
A discus, and I threw it. And what was great was, I wish we filmed it, because it flew over...
His feet were like...
Oh, he flew, and then he got on his back and just played possum in the air. Because I threw him pretty high. And it was just like, I go, did I just kill this thing? And like, it's just frozen. And then what was great is it goes, blop, and it bounces up, and it goes...
And runs off.
Yeah,
they're tough.
It was cool.
They're really tough.
It was cool, and I want to do that again. I really am disappointed that we couldn't kill it.
I know. That's usually your biggest disappointment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fun.
Just love to kill things.
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah.
You just love playing God and deciding what lives and what dies.
Well, I'm pretty sure if I had the Rambo ammo that blows up stuff.
Oh, stuff. Beep. Oh, that's going to have to...
Oh, dang it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have to blip the last few seconds out.
Let's see. That's at the 11-minute mark. All right, I got self-know. I got to write that down. And then, but what's great about that is, like, I wonder how much destruction I can do. And that's real ammo. I found that out.
Okay.
Did you know that? The Rambo explosive tips?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
That's real.
Yeah, they make ammunition
That's real.
Yeah, that explodes.
And did you see John Wick 4?
Yeah, that's the only one I saw, and I thought it was terrible.
Well, you remember the scene where the shotgun that was like lighting people on fire?
I guess. I think I only lasted like 30 minutes.
That's a real thing.
Okay. Get off my back, bro. I believe you.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think I only made it through 30 minutes of that.
But that possum lived, and hopefully he's killing rats.
He lives to see another day.
Yeah.
Dick, have you ever had to issue, maybe in your personal life or even right here on these very airwaves, an apology statement? A mea culpa. I'm sorry, my bad.
Hey, we already clarified I'm divorced. So, yeah, I've made many apology statements.
Well, I love this one, and I'm going to read it to you because it is quite humorous. It is with deep regret that we inform you that as a result of an unexpected technical failure of the electric tailgate hatch in the hearse, an unfortunate incident occurred during the transportation of a body of a deceased person, which does not reflect the high standards of our company. This was a statement released by a funeral home who lost a dead body when it fell out the back of their hearse last week in Poland. I'm laughing. It's terrible, of course, but just the whole scenario sounds like something straight out of a movie.
Yeah.
It says, quote, "We admit our mistake and we take full responsibility for what happened. Our thoughts are with the family of the deceased from whom we informed immediately after the incident." My thought is you probably didn't have to inform it. They probably saw. Or when they got to the funeral ground, they go, "Where's Charlie?" "Oh, no, he's out there on Fifth and Culver." "Oh,
do you
no."
remember the apology from that bus company that dumped all that poop?
More
Boston?
specific.
I think it was in Boston. It was Dave Matthews' tour bus, so everyone was trying to blame Dave Matthews.
I do remember something about
But then they
this.
finally released an apology for dumping poop, and it was really funny because it's just you just read an apology about dumping poop on people.
Those are the best.
Yeah, and it's just
It is with
we're
it is
sorry
with
about
sincere
that.
regret. And that does not reflect our high moral values.
yeah.
They've always got to get real
Oh,
sincere
it's
about
great.
it.
And what I love is I think even Dave Matthews and them put it out and an apology. I'm like, why are they apologizing? They didn't they weren't the ones doing it.
I know.
But everyone assumes they are. If you look it up, just type in Dave Matthews poop, and then you'll find it.
Well, it says Polish media reported that a man was driving down a street Friday in Stalowa Wola, a city in southeastern Poland, when he first saw a sheet on his car window. When the sheet slid down, he saw a body lying on the ground. For a moment, the driver feared that he had hit the person. So I'm not sure what happened. I guess the wind maybe blew this sheet up or something. I don't know when it came
I'd be
down.
like, oh, I would, if I ran into that, I'd be like, I'm gonna not say anything and get out of here.
Yeah, man, just put the pedal down.
Yeah.
Is that still considered a hit and run? I don't know.
I don't know.
This is kind of sad, but an Ocala man allegedly tries to kill his wife of 60 years twice and tells deputies that he doesn't want her to be alone. This is so screwed up. But this old man basically is accused of trying to kill his wife because he's dying. And he says, well, I just don't want you to be alone, honey. So he's decided to take her out on his last dying days. How screwed up is this? It says, according to an arrest affidavit obtained by blah, 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 Lochner, who's the man who's...
Blah, 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 blah.
Lochner's wife called 911 after she said her husband came up from behind her, wrapped a rope around her neck, and pulled back so hard she felt like the blood circulation was going to be cut off. "I just want to spend eternity with you, babe. Come with me. Come to the light."
It's kind of like that guy asking for his dog to be killed.
Yet it's kind of the same way. It's not your choice. And this lady's like, look, I get it. You're ready to go, but I still got a few years to cat around after you're gone, man. Don't take me with you.
And then the next day she wakes up with a scar on her chest and it's like, oh, honey, I installed a device. Once my vital signs go null, you're dead. That's what I would do.
Sounds terrible. I don't know, man. I just think this guy, he is not our audience of one onesie of the week.
I think he's the best one. He has the balls to say that.
I guess so. I think this is just his excuse. He's just been waiting 60 years for some excuse to off the old lady. It's like, well, I just don't want her to be alone. Look, I'm compassionate that way.
Yeah, that's something I would say. 100%.
Yeah, I kind of figured. This next story from NBC is full of puns, so you're just going to have to bear with me. But the Great Cheese Robbery, $400,000 of cheddar was stolen in London.
Yeah, cheese is worth a lot.
Okay, that's what I'm coming to realize. I didn't realize that cheese could be so valuable. But it says British chef Jamie Oliver is on the case of the stolen cheddar. Oliver, who rose to fame as the, quote, naked chef. Look, man, I don't want my chefs naked. I want my chefs fully clothed with hairnets where appropriate. No, I think he's called naked chef because he strips down his food to its bare essentials, got cheeky in an otherwise spurious plea to his social media followers to help solve the mystery of the missing 22 metric tons. Mm-hmm. Quick, do the math. 48,000 pounds of award-winning cheddar cheese worth $390,000 was stolen in a scam. I don't get this story. First of all, that you can steal that much cheese, and how are you scamming somebody out of it?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like cheese is actually printed. Like if you look at cheese barrels or wheels, they actually print on them like what cheese it is and like who made it and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, you can track this stuff because the same thing happened with olive oil and maple syrup.
The wheat oil?
No, just maple syrup and olive oil. Certain types of olive oil are very expensive. And remember we wrote that article about how that maple syrup got stolen in Canada and it was worth like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So the cheese, same thing. That's why I told you those hot gymnastic ladies posed with cheese.
And that's now your new kink, right?
Well, yeah, because it's like posing with a Lamborghini. It has a high value.
Okay.
So I'm like, man,
your
look
social
at that.
media feed.
Look at that Parmesan.
Well, it was nearly
that's like $200,000 right there.
Yeah, nearly 1,000 wheels of cloth-wrapped artisanal cheddar, give me a break, were swiped from the Neal's Yard Dairy by a con artist posing as a wholesale distributor for a French retailer.
That guy is the AO1.
He is our AO because
it.
I like cheese. I can't say that I blame the guy.
And he just con artist. I thought he just stole the truck at the right time. I was like,
yeah,
no.
that's what I was thinking. No. He went
like,
in
hey,
and
I'm a rep.
A wheel at a time. A wheel at a time.
I just need to sign something, right? And you'll just give me all this cheese, right? I wanted to tell you. This reminds me of.
Yes.
We had a guest in this week on a show, and it's a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he said this line really threw me for a whirl. He's like, they're talking about ingredients and freshness of the food and all this kind of stuff. And they're like,
I bet he knows who the naked chef is.
And he goes, where? One of the hosts goes, hey, where do you get your stuff? And he's like dead cold. He goes, they all come from one warehouse in New Jersey. And I'm sitting there going like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, that sounds awesome. That's where his cheese. That's where we get our cheese, our pasta, our sauces. One warehouse in New Jersey.
Doesn't trust anything else, man.
I mean, gangster. That's what I thought. I was like,
speaking of food, have you ever gone to a restaurant and maybe you've never eaten there before and you order something like a cheese wheel? Yes, I'll have the cheese wheel chicken breast, please. And the waitress kind of leans over to you and goes, yeah, that's not all that good.
ooh, I like that lady.
Or you're like, that's not our best dish. You ever had that happen? That happened to me the other day.
No.
Where I ordered something, they're like, yeah, that's not our best dish here. I might prefer that you try this one. And I thought that's kind of a ballsy play if you're the waitress, because essentially you're asking, or you're telling, yeah, we have food here that's not real good.
We're not perfect.
Yeah. It was really a kind of a weird play.
No.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, I've always gone to the place where they try to sell you what the special is.
And then I looked her dead in the eyes and I said, I'll have it anyways. I'll take two of them.
Yeah, I'll take two of them. One undercooked. No.
That's a weird thing, man.
It is kind of weird, especially when you. Well, I guess it would make sense if you say, because you always go, "Hey, what's in your opinion the best thing?"
That's different.
And
if you say, "Well, you know what? Everything here is good, but I prefer the cheese wheel," but not, wouldn't go there.
Wouldn't do that.
It kind of makes you question everything else on the menu.
Wouldn't do that. No, I don't really eat out that much, so.
Okay.
Unlike you, who don't know how to cook, don't do anything.
Oh yeah, I eat out every night. Let me tell you.
Yeah, because you're flying on airplanes eating peanuts.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. That's 36,000 feet in the air peanuts. What that is. Just trying to get people who have an allergy to freak out. They don't do peanuts on the plane anymore, man.
I have no idea.
Yeah, because allergies. And you're in an enclosed cabin, and people start to.
I feel like if that's true,
It is.
it would have happened a lot more than we know about.
I think it has happened.
Because I feel like that would be.
It's just not as cool a story as someone peeing on somebody in the plane or duking in the aisle, but it happens, man. It happens. Yeah.
God, what a soft country.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you have a peanut allergy.
A Greek man was convicted
kidding.
for sneaking into neighbors' properties to what? Fill in the blank. This is a dick in the news.
Oh, great.
Greek man convicted sneaking into neighbors' properties to
Poop.
Smell their shoes.
Oh, yeah.
What a kink, man. That's kind of, you're like, oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't tell you.
I identify with that guy.
I didn't tell you I was talking to a young girl, and she's a mechanic, and she's trying to sell a car.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you told me.
And she's.
Guy wanted to
smell
sniff
her
the
seats.
seats.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, for real? She's like, she sent me the message. And I was like, oh my
So the story is she's selling a car. Someone says, I'm interested in the car, but before I buy it, I need to smell the seats. Now, immediately...
Well, no, and then he offers to buy the seat.
See...
Because it's like a race car kind of car. So it's like...
I mean, my mind
and
first
he offers
goes
to
to
give her another seat. He's like, I got this other seat. And he said some brand name.
Yeah. See, immediately I go to the sick stuff, like he just wants a sniffer seat. But it could be that he just needed that particular seat to complete his outfit. You know, not outfit, but his kit.
Yeah, but
his car.
He opened up with wanting to sniff the seat first. And so she offered, I think, $200 to smell it for 3 minutes.
And he took it.
I don't know. I asked her. I was like, what ended up happening? And she's like,
but
don't
you
worry
needed
about
to sit in it just moments before. Yeah. Oh, my God. A man in Greece was given a suspended 1-month prison sentence after his conviction for disturbing his neighbors by repeatedly sneaking onto their properties and smelling their shoes.
Do you think he was like a sommelier?
A sommelier?
Sommelier. He's like, oh, this is great. It has a little nut.
Reeboks have a certain smell in the fall.
A little toenail fungus that's been brewing for 2 weeks.
So nasty, man.
I think it's great.
I don't get it. I know everybody's got their thing, but I don't know. Couldn't you just go to like...
Well, some people are CBT people, so... CBD, I don't know what that is. Don't look it up.
Okay. I mean, I would think you just go to like the Goodwill and just sniff the used shoe rack there. It's got to be fresh. It's got to be fresh. Well, he said that he had no intentions of breaking the laws or harming anyone. He just wanted to get his sniff on.
Yeah. That'd be so great.
If what would you do though?
Became a friend. You're my friend, and I'm like, and you're hanging out with me. And you're like, man, I got this new friend, coolest guy in the world. Oh man, but he sniffs shoes.
Well, it says the defendant's neighbors also testified that he never displayed any signs of aggression during his visits, and the man was ordered by the judge to attend therapy sessions.
Yeah, I wouldn't be embarrassed though if that was your thing.
Own it, bro. Own it.
I wouldn't be that embarrassed.
Put that on your Tinder profile.
Because I feel like if that was really your thing and you're honest about it, you would definitely get people who would offer you to smell their shoes for like $1.
Oh, for sure. You can there's a kink for everything, man.
Well, I mean, like, if someone came up to me and was like, hey, I want to smell your shoes, I'd be like, yeah, $5. Immediately. And
that's your going rate?
Well, I mean, I'm okay. It's creepy as hell, but it's like, hey, I'll just make $5. Plus, I think my feet smell really good.
Is it creepier to let somebody sniff them or to do the sniffing? I don't know. It's kind of weird to let somebody sniff it, too.
No, because I'm interested in...
Because you're an enabler at that point.
No, I'm interested in see what he thinks. I'm like, what do you think?
Yeah, as someone who sniffs a lot of shoes.
You're like, yeah, how are my shoes? What's the best...
Now, would you be hurt if he said, I've smelled better?
Yeah.
But in his case,
I wash my feet.
The
I take care of
stinkier, the better in his case.
You think so?
Why else? Because if you're smelling clean feet, that doesn't really smell like anything other than a clean arm.
You know what this reminds
clean
me
hand.
of?
He's going for the funk.
I need to buy that company who's doing the gay AI DAR, whatever. The gaydar.
Oh, yes. The Stanford University
and then
gaydar.
I need to go
AI?
in there and be like, hey, we need to have it recognize people who sniff shoes.
I'm sure that's one of one. I'm sure that they could quickly identify that through their machine learning. Show the picture of this guy over and over again. Got it.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's the one.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Oh, you're not. You might be gay, but you're for sure a shoe sniffer. Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Cool.
We already talk about Day of the Dead? Did I tell you what it was?
Yeah, it's about celebrating the dead people.
Widely observed in Mexico, Central America, and South America, and Mexican-American communities, the Day of the Dead is a time when families welcome back the souls of departed relatives
because they can only visit for so long.
To the living world for a brief reunion that includes foods, drink, music, dancing, and sniffing each other's shoes.
I like it. There's a lot of things, wacky things.
Welcome back to life. Sniff my Nikes.
Yeah.
Just for one day, though. Very brief, because they're dead after all.
Wouldn't that be like insane if that was real?
Not the shoe sniffing. You're talking about
like
people coming
your dead
back.
relatives coming to visit you, and like you only get to spend a day with them, so you probably have to write. Like if I saw my grandfather once a year, that would be like the craziest thing to look forward to because like I got to talk.
The thing is,
got to talk about this. Got to talk about that.
The thing is, they say that it's a celebration that includes food, drinks, and music. In your case, you'd be bringing back the dead just about 4 times a week. Let's think about that. What were you doing earlier today before this show? Dancing. What were you doing last night?
Dancing.
Drinking.
I wasn't drinking last night.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. I don't drink anymore. No, I would love that. I would think that'd be the coolest thing. Now I want to live in that universe.
Okay. But the Day of the Dead universe?
I bet there are some people, though, that do not want to see their relatives.
Right? Oh, not this one.
Yeah, daddy touch.
Yeah, that's the old grace. That's like a uncle
The
with the
creepy
checkered past.
Yeah.
I don't want that guy.
It's like,
Weirdo.
That would be so funny.
And then maybe this guy's wife that he killed, that was it, the people who've been married for 60 years, she comes back. I didn't want to see you. Dang it.
It's like, you're not my grandfather. No, I'm your real grandfather. That's not your real dad. I'm like, what? But yeah, I think that'd be tight. I'd be all for that.
Awesome. Well, this is the quick hit here at the end of the show, and I heard this on Remnant Stew podcast because I'm a listener of the Remnant Stew podcast.
Yeah, they find some weird stuff, don't
Yes,
they?
this is interesting. So I'm going to give this to shout out to the Remnant Stew for this one. But have you heard of what a spite house is?
Ooh, yeah.
In simple terms, a spite house is one built specifically to inconvenience and irritate other homeowners in the vicinity.
One of them only has urinals.
On the outside?
No, like in the house. There's
Well,
no
one
toilets.
care. That's not going to spite your neighbors unless you're inviting them over, I guess. It says this could be accomplished by obstructing a nice view, blocking the light, or cutting off the pathway to a shortcut. These buildings were not always primary residences, but usually purely built to piss people off.
I like it.
I never heard of that spite house, but it makes sense. If you've got that big of a butt up your butt to build some sort of structure to piss your neighbor off,
I like
more
it.
power to you, bud. More power. You're going for it.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, it's time to go trick-or-treating for us, but this show will air after trick-or-treat time. So I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful Halloween. Be safe. We're safe. Enjoy the Day of the Dead.
Yay. Well, happy Halloween. I guess it's the next day, so it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, no, it's the Day of
Happy
the Dead.
Thanksgiving.
That's our next big one.
Yeah.
That's our
Are
next
you going to
big
stuff some turkey?
one. Oh, you know it.
Yeah.
Stuff the hell out of it.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Now I got to figure out how to bleep. We'll be back next week.
Next week, onesies. Bye.